My sex education at school was behind the bike sheds.
Sex education is always hard to deliver.
Oh, please cover that up.
Which is why in 2020, the government is overhauling the system and making it compulsory for the first time.
Have we got any condoms?
With new guidelines so that everyone in schools in England will learn the same thing.
Lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, plus.
I had no idea about any of this stuff.
Which begs the question, what on earth have we been teaching our kids up to now?
Masturbation is not covered at school.
Really? Second base is kissing, third base is sex, and fourth base is anal. That's what we got told it was.
So what should be on the syllabus?
As a Catholic, sex should only occur within the context of a marriage between a man and a woman.
I was actually having sex before I started puberty.
Oh, God.
To find out, we've gathered pupils and their parents, some famous and some not, to watch sex ed videos past and present from the UK and beyond.
Did I hear somebody mention the word breast?
That's enough on tits.
To decide what works.
That's the best video. The strangest, but the best.
And what definitely doesn't.
That was so graphic.
Starting the most frank discussions about sex they've ever had.
For me, there's nothing more enjoyable than going from behind.
I'm not actually listening anymore.
No, good.
In this episode, we're looking at how educators across the decades have handled the basics of sex education. From how to manage menstruation...
It's not unusual to have some discomfort in the first 2 days of a period. Just see if there's a hot drink going.
to the challenges of masturbation.
I did see what you were doing. It felt good, didn't it?
She knew what she was doing, the sicko.
To the rules of reproduction.
That's like bad 70s Saturday morning TV.
Sex ed tackles many of life's biggest mysteries.
When a man and a woman want to make a baby, the man's penis stops being floppy and hanging down, it stands to attention.
Then he can put it gently inside the woman's baby-making hole.
What are the cat and the dog doing? But what has that got anything to do with an erecting penis?
But it often starts with the most basic of questions, like what to call our private parts.
OK, what word do we call your...
Not my one.
Your vagina, in general?
Nunny.
Nun, that's right, yeah.
Nanny calls it mini-mo.
Mini-mo, yeah.
I swear someone said vajayjay, so...
Vajayjay? Very Essex.
Front bottom.
Yeah.
I think was a favourite one.
And what about the boys?
Yours was just a willy. It's always been a willy.
Willy, cock. What else? About dick.
What?
For real?
I thought it was just someone that's like being annoying.
Yes, you're right. I used to call my penis the Whopper Chalopper. I was young.
But obviously we know other words, don't we?
Many
words.
very many words.
Which we don't use.
Because we're not allowed to.
Well, I am.
I think some people before me in the year read a book about Dick and Fanny.
OK, that's all right. That's quite tame, actually, because they're two sort of names of people.
Fanny? I would
Telling you
not
now.
call my kid a Fanny.
Films for schools have tried to find ways to teach young kids about their genitals in a way they'll understand. This 1960s British film used simple, neutral words.
Down there between her legs is a sort of cleft, which is to do with getting rid of waste material.
It's quite non-committal, isn't it? It's a sort of cleft.
A small boy knows well enough that he has something else, a small, convenient tube.
You said the penis is like a tube.
But as a child, did you ever think this is a tube?
I looked at it more like a sausage.
This 80s animation, based on a best-selling children's book, tried to explain the differences between boys and girls with the help of an inquisitive cartoon character.
Between the man's legs is something that all you boys have.
What's the duck doing?
That duck looks way too intrigued.
Yours won't be as big as this yet, but it will grow bigger as you grow bigger.
Sometimes, isn't it?
You probably have a special name for yours, but the right name for it is the penis. Just like peanuts without the teeth. Between the woman's legs, you can just see a little opening, and this is called the vagina.
That is hysterical.
It was funny, but I don't know, what were it doing?
I know, why was it getting so close?
It's informative.
I mean, I guess it's good for little ones, actually, isn't it?
I'd just get rid of the duck.
Current guidelines recommend that all primary schools should cover the changes that happen in puberty. The average UK age for starting puberty is 11 for girls and 12 for boys, but it's dropping by 4 or 5 months every decade.
What sort of stuff do you think happens to your body?
It grows and it becomes more...
Hairy?
Yeah.
Can you remember when, like, we got the book and we read it?
Can I forget? What did you call pubic hair?
Public hair.
Why did you call it public hair?
I thought there was an L in it.
Over the years, sex ed films have mostly relied on the latest animated techniques to show where bodies will grow hair during puberty. But in the 1970s, progressive educators tried to teach what teenagers' bodies would look like by actually showing teenagers' bodies.
It is obvious that boys are different from girls and men different from women. Indeed, we know most of the reasons for these differences. For example, women are made to have babies.
They don't like moving, do
They look so unhappy about it.
It's like a hostage video.
Hair will also appear in the region of his sexual organs, and particularly in the pubic region.
No, why is he touching it?
Equally striking changes will become evident in the young girl reaching puberty. The hormones secreted by her ovaries will stimulate the lips of her vulva and her clitoris to grow.
Oh. A clitoris. Clitoris.
Hair will also develop in her pubic region and also under her arms.
And her breasts. I think that is really good because it's not over-sexualising it, but it's also not footing around it by it being like an animation or like... Do you think that sort of showing the real bodies is better?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was quite like, it is what it is.
I think that would be much more effective.
Yeah.
What would the response be if in school you had sex education and they showed that clip?
Going into my classroom, like if I turn up late and I just see a naked guy there, I'm not really going to want to enter my class. I'm going to just go to the school gate and leave.
In terms of education, though, isn't that acceptable?
No, it's never okay.
A real body, that's exactly what it's going to look like. So I would say it's probably more informative, but it's weird and hard to look at.
I remember the first time I yeah. What's going on here? What's happening? Why have we got... And when you pull it out, you got a spot. And then you're itching it. And then you get a little bit of a rash and stuff like that. Because you didn't have a clue. But then they just start popping up.
I do remember the first one. Somebody just came up one out. That's a bit weird.
I never knew that anybody else had hair, and I never asked about it. Now I ask all the time, because I haven't got any hair now. It's all fallen off. So I've got a beautiful vagina in a way that I never had before, but nobody's going to see it now.
While real naked bodies are rare in British sex ed films, the Norwegians take a more liberal approach to teaching puberty, as shown in this educational TV series for 8 to 12-year-olds.
Får bredere hofter og mer fett på kroppen. Men håret gror også her og der. Også der, gitt.
Okay, we've got... Oh, hey!
Også der, gitt. Penisen vokser også. Gror også her og der.
Afternoon.
Jenta får utflod. Så kommer plutselig første sæduttømming. De har begynt å produsere sædceller. Og hva poenget med alt det her? Å få barn. Men det greit å vente en liten stund med.
Right.
But she actually lifted the dingling.
Også der, gitt. Penisen vokser også.
She didn't have to lift the dingling.
If that is a boy who's just gone through puberty, congratulations on your control, my friend.
Sade também.
I can see that what they're trying to do, which is make everything out in the open and explicit and laugh about it. I don't think that would work in this country.
That's a very, very Scandinavian.
Whoa. Never in a million years would that be shown at school, even with the censors on.
If your friends had watched that with you, would they have been gasping and giggling?
They definitely would have been gasping and giggling. Yeah. We're so British, like, can't say the word sex because that's so... You say sex.
I'm just trying to imagine that video done by Fiona Bruce. Because she's the one who would do it here. And who else? Davina McCall? Who would you get? Mary Beard?
I don't think British audiences would probably be able to handle seeing that, and then you'd get a few angry complaints from parents.
Maybe if we'd had somebody your age presenting it, it would feel a bit more comfortable for me.
Yeah, because it definitely, whenever we have these, like, people come into school to talk to us about sex, it's always like...
People who look like they've never had sex.
Yeah, it's always like 30-year-olds who are like, hey, guys, I'm down with the kids. Today I'm here to talk to you about abstinence and that kind of thing.
Abstinence.
Abstinence.
Yeah.
We're looking at how sex ed has taught us the basic facts of life.
The uterus is a small pouch shaped like a pear upside down.
But how have educators tackled one of life's biggest questions? Where do babies come from?
What do you know about babies and how they're made?
Oh, there's two people. And they make sexual... What is it?
I don't know, mate. When did you learn this one?
In year 6.
Doesn't matter anyway. You won't be doing it. Trust me. You don't worry about that, mate.
Where did you think babies came from?
I mean, I reckon I've always known.
Do you remember when you first found out? When baby, you know, where the babies come from?
Yep, we were in school and we read a book about sperms. You had a race.
Right.
And it went...
You won that race, didn't you? I won.
No, I won.
Well,
yeah,
we all
you
won, didn't we? Everyone won.
No, twins actually drew.
The first time I learnt the facts of life, my older sister told me in front of Mum and Dad.
Oh, gosh.
And she said, I know how babies are made. Dad puts his willy in Mum's bum.
We did have a lesson about reproduction, but it wasn't called sex. It was very mechanical. It was explained with diagrams. But I know that we thought sperm was a funny word. So whenever the word sperm came up, we'd go...
Before the 1970s, teachers had limited access to sex ed films for younger children. This report from 1969 shows just how vitally new resources were needed.
The lessons are to be directed at children of 8 and 9, an age when they already have their own strong views on how, where and why babies are born.
My mother told me that you could believe they came from stalks under gooseberry bushes, because when I was out in the wood once, I thought I saw one under a gooseberry bush, but it wasn't.
My teacher told me that they came from Buckingham Palace.
I've heard that the aeroplane goes up into the clouds and picks the baby up by the nappy and brings it down to earth and gives it to the shop to buy.
There's just so many different theories. You know what I mean? And they all think they've got it right, don't they? They all go, no, I know.
I remember you used to tell me that you bought me from Tesco's, Marks and Spencer's, and I always used to think it was true.
You'd rather come from Marx's than
Yeah.
Tesco's, wouldn't you? But
You lied to me.
I was protecting you, that's what I was doing. But that's what I was told as well when I was little. I thought that after my mum and dad had done the shopping...
The shopping?
Yeah, in Sainsbury's, say. Well, no, they didn't. They went Asda's. On the way out, at the end, there was a big rack table with arms on it, legs and head. And they'd go, oh, let's have that one. And they'd get a baby and they'd stick legs on it,
And
arms, stick a nut on it, yeah. And then they'd go, oh, I'll have that and all, on the way out. Going, oh, is that how much? Is that... I got me vouchers.
I've got a friend that shared a bedroom with a sister, And just before they went to bed at night time, her sister said, I found out where babies came from today. They come from your fingernails. So she went to bed that night horrified, looking at her hands going, oh my God, I don't want to be a parent yet, thinking that kids were going to come out of her fingers.
I used to play mums and dads, and I was playing mums and dads with this boy called Jordan, and he was like, now that we're mums and dads, we have to make a baby. And I was like, how do we make babies? And I think we just like, he was just kissing my tummy. It's like the man kisses a woman's tummy, then the baby comes out. So I think that's, yeah, kissing tummies was like the first thing I knew about having babies. I wish it was that simple, actually.
Before I had sex education, I obviously knew that babies were made from semen coming out the willy and going in the stomach. That's what I thought. So I was thinking, well, if I'm going to be gay when I'm older, then that means when I have sex with a man, I'm going to be pregnant. I'm going to be the first ever pregnant man.
Educators have always struggled with how much information to give kids about making babies. Traditionally, they focused on the cold, hard science behind it all, without any mention of emotions or feelings.
During intercourse, sperm in a fluid called semen are ejaculated, pushed out through the erect penis into the woman's vagina.
It's like David Attenborough represents the biology of the human body.
And this is the problem, isn't it? Because it's very factual. This is how babies are made, but it doesn't really talk about sex.
One film that did embrace the role of sex in how babies are made was notorious 1971 work, Growing Up. The British press called it the most explicit film ever made for use in schools, after it depicted people actually engaged in the act of intercourse itself. Public opposition to the film got it banned in one UK city, and it was shown in hardly any schools at all.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
As a result of necking and petting, both the boy and girl may become sexually excited.
He's got a lovely tan. I'll give him that.
His penis will become stiff and erect, and her vulva moist.
The girl is certainly feeling aroused. That was a bit much. That was a tiny bit much. And it's only a bit much because it's supposed to be for kids. You could have just made it cartoons, maybe.
I don't think there's any need for it. Really, it's just a geezer land on top of a bird, sort of, you know, sort of moving a little bit. Doesn't really explain what is going on, does it, really?
You can't show a video of people having sex with each other.
No, you can't.
Pornography, and that's intrusive.
And it's gross.
So how do you explain the science of how babies are made in a way that grabs kids' attention? This effort from 1987 adopted the style of a cartoon battle sequence to show how a sperm fertilizes an egg.
Und bei dieser Knuddelei machen sich Millionen von Spermien, das sind Samenfäden, auf eine Reise in den Körper der Frau.
Cool.
Ja, doch also.
Oh, Juppie! Gleich geschafft, Jungs. Wird ja auch Zeit.
Da! Der Pfiffikus hat's geschafft.
Ach, herrje.
That's like bad 70s Saturday morning TV. I mean, if that's aimed at lessening confusion in adolescence, our German friends are way wider than mark. I mean, that's set me back in my understanding.
The problem of how to make sex ed realistic and yet engaging for kids affected how educators presented the joys of giving birth.
Oh, look, it's like popping out there, and it's like, yeah, no. Yeah, his name's midwives to help her through the pain.
This is not very accurate. After the baby is born, his mother holds him close to her breast and puts a soft tip of one in his mouth. Then he can suck and get out the milk. The breasts are
Why don't you just buy a cup of milk?
I remember asking Mum, how do they get out? I think I suggested it and she leapt on it. I said, did they come out of your bottom? She said, yes. So that was that matter dealt with. It was only the birth of my first child 11 years ago when I discovered that's not true.
To help clear up such misunderstandings, sex ed has tried to show how babies are really born. But this 1950s clip still shied away from anything that might shock or unnerve audiences. The last moments of the delivery have arrived. For every pregnant woman, this is the long-awaited moment.
Oh, for God's sake, she ain't having a baby.
Everything has lost reality, except the feel of muscles contracting and relaxing to ease out the child.
Lie. Do you think I look like that? £10 with you?
Yeah, probably.
No, I didn't look like that. Seriously? Is she giving birth to a plum?
It's almost like she's got a look on her face where she doesn't quite know if she's pregnant or not. She's going, is this a big or am I going to give birth?
A moment of shock as he leaves the dark and silent protection of his mother's body.
There we go.
It just came out so fast.
It doesn't come out that fast. And then you look like that.
Oh, she's having a nice cup of tea. Gasping. Didn't give a for the baby, by the way. Is it all right? Yeah, OK, look, kissing, yeah. Can I just have a... Do you have a saucer with the cup? Yeah. Any sugar? I mean, what the
She doesn't scream, she doesn't pant. Then after she has this baby, after this human being falls out of her nuna, she then has a cup of tea. Because that's what we all want after we've given birth, tea.
He's God a man. I mean, we've had a touch. We have a roll about. We get all the good side of it all. You know, we shoot our bolt and our job's done, really. And then this whole process starts for the woman of months and months of her body changing shape. And then, of course, she's got to give birth to it. Which just looks impossible. Even when you're watching it, you go, this ain't happening. I mean, you know, and then, of course, it happens and you're like, wow. And you are in awe of her for about a quarter of an hour. And then it all goes back to normal.
In the 1980s, some educators chose to show the reality of childbirth.
Some parents like to have their babies at home, but most are born in hospital where there are skilled staff to make sure all goes well and to deal with any problems which may arise.
Yeah, 28 hours I was in labour with you.
She looks like she's dying.
28 hours.
Good for
She has
you.
been in labour with
Oh,
regular
yeah.
contractions of her uterus for a little time.
Yeah.
Oh, please cover that up.
No.
It's weird, innit? People are weird.
Oh, my God. I'm feeling my contractions all over again.
Why is she panting so hard?
Listen, it's like, imagine if someone tried to take a watermelon out of your nostril.
Sometimes the cord is cut at this stage. This doesn't hurt because there are no nerves in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
It's very hard work for her.
Yeah, it is.
Oh! The squidge.
Oh, my goodness. You just heard the little sloshing sound as they finally pulled him out, like...
Oh, it's tiny. Oh, you're that small.
Right.
That small.
Do you prefer that to an animated style?
I do prefer this because this is real and like it shows the actual like real life amount of pain that women go through.
You need to understand. That
actual
is
pain.
solid death's door pain.
I've never actually seen a baby get born, you know. I always hoped my first time would be watching my own child get born, and I was not warned about this. So yeah, it turns out that what I'd saved as a magical personal moment, I've now spunked on a talking heads show for Channel 4, so thanks.
We're looking at how educators have taught us the fundamentals of sex.
Human babies are born at any time of the year. It's got nothing to do with the weather.
One important function that's useful to figure out is the male erection.
You know when people have sex?
Yes.
The man's penis gets hard?
Yep.
OK, I was never, ever taught that.
Oh.
I got to quite an advanced stage, really, before I realised that I understood what an erection was, and no one ever taught that to me.
When people talk to, like, their dads about erections,
I think that most people expect schools to do that sort of thing.
Wow. That's very, straight. Some erections stick up almost flat to the chest, while others swell up but hardly point at all. That looks like someone's pointing at you. Like, you there. That looks like you there. I can be a coat hanger. I think that's the most natural. How do you know?
Whether in books or films, educators have tried to approach erectile issues in ways that boys can relate to. This late 70s American film used lads in a locker room to tackle the delicate and sensitive subject of random erections.
I'd like to know about the male penis, please.
I'm sorry, Malachi. I've stopped laughing now. I've composed myself, and I'm going to be very serious now. I'm going to be like any other normal mother when we're talking about random erections, okay? Let's go!
Then I had this embarrassing thing happen to me.
That's the most unobvious wink I've ever seen in my life.
Hi, Jimmy. Want to go to the movies with me this weekend? What was happening to me?
I don't know, man.
What you doing?
I'm getting an erection.
Did you know? Nothing?
He's not coping very well at all.
I'm looking for my keys. I can't find my keys. Oh, can I help? Uh-oh.
Not in the pocket.
No. I'd rather you didn't. Okay. See you Saturday. Bye now. Bye.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
Bob, has it happened to you?
It's happened to everyone.
Yeah.
You've just got to put your hand in your pocket, get it in a safe position.
Just keep it down.
You don't have your hands in your pockets. You have to put it in your waistband. And he had a belt on as well, so he could really hide it.
There was various things you'd have to try and think of. It would usually be a family member, Nan, your mother, doing a menial task or something.
I think you told me that you used to imagine your grandma on a bike.
My grandmother riding a bike on a hot day, yeah.
Surely it's something that should be talked about at primary school. So were you prepared for it?
No, there's nothing to prepare you for this torture.
I don't know what biological purpose it serves. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Do girls have an equivalent? No. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not just.
In contrast to the locker room approach, this American 1960s film opted for an authoritative and reassuring doctor figure to explain wet dreams.
In a normal male, the testicles are constantly manufacturing male hormones.
Look at that radiation. What's happening to it?
They're also manufacturing and storing sperm cells.
It looks like it's got headphones on.
That's an important point. It just stands to reason that if you manufacture and store something long enough, you're going to have an overflow problem.
Oh, dear.
To take care of this, nature gives you a safety valve. Once in a while, the stored semen lets go. You have what we call a nocturnal emission, a wet dream. In some men, emissions may even occur during the daytime.
On its own?
Wet dreams may be a little messy, but they're perfectly normal. In fact, they're a sign of good health.
Were you taught this when you had sex education in year 6?
No.
They didn't teach it to you?
I didn't say anything about wet dreams.
And let me say once more, losing semen in wet dreams or other ways does not cause a loss of your masculinity.
Can't remember the last time I had a wet dream. God, decades.
Today's students are taught by far more friendly educators.
Hey, how's it going? I'm a dream.
Oh, wet dream.
You might wake up wondering what the heck happened. Relax, you didn't pee your bed. It's only semen. Just bundle up your sheets and toss those underwear in the laundry.
You wake up thinking, oh, wet the bed. It's embarrassing. So you have to collect your bedding up quick and run downstairs and put it in the washer. It's the only time you will find a teenager is willing to switch the washing machine on.
As well as random erections and wet dreams, educators of the past have also offered advice on penile hygiene and what happens if it's neglected.
At birth, the head of the penis is covered by a thin layer of skin called the foreskin.
It's uncomfortable.
Frequently, this skin is removed in a minor operation called circumcision. When the foreskin is not removed, a cheesy material called smegma collects underneath, causing an offensive odor and sometimes infection.
That's where the word smeg comes from.
Cheesy helmet. Oh, that is disgusting.
Uncircumcised males can prevent this by making sure the area under the foreskin is kept clean.
Do you know what I like? The little lines that were emanating from the bell end.
What, the smell?
To really impact the smell coming out of the vision. Could you smell cheese when you were watching that?
No. No.
It's just me then.
I don't think it's as common as they believe to be circumcised.
There's no real need unless it's medical.
No, it's down to you to make sure you keep it clean.
There's nothing worse than a cheesy helmet. I mean, we've all had one.
That's disgusting.
We've all had one.
That means you've had a cheesy helmet.
Well, you telling me you haven't?
Oh, I wash.
All right, let me be honest with you again. You've been out all day.
Yeah.
Maybe you went to the gym in the morning, you haven't had a chance to actually shower, and then you clean yourself. And sometimes I imagine, what might it have been like if I hadn't have actually even washed? And that horrifies me.
Yeah, that horrifies me as well.
To inflict that on somebody who is trusted, they're trusting you, they're trusting your physical health.
It's worse if it's in the mouth.
Bob, listen, that's exactly what I'm saying, because it always goes in the mouth first for me.
Oh, let's move on.
While boys are grappling with their erections, pubescent girls experience a more long-lasting change. In her lifetime, the average woman has 450 periods.
What kind of teaching have you had about menstruation at school?
They've told us about, like, tampons and pads and stuff like that, but it's not really very informative. It's basically, if you start bleeding, use one of these. They don't really tell you how.
When you learn about periods, did they have boys in the class as well?
No, they separated the boys and the girls.
Is it?
So the boys learn about, like, different things to us.
So, basically, the schools don't think that boys need to know about periods?
No, they don't get periods, so, like, I don't understand why.
I'll tell you why they probably should know, because they end up being my age, sitting here, not having a clue. And I mean, having daughters, so I wish I did know a bit more.
What I know about periods is that that's when you need to put a towel down on the duvet.
Oh.
150 years ago, the average age of a first period was 17. Now it's 12.
Peggy, of course I can't go swimming. You know I've got the curse.
Oh my... Such was the stigma around periods that back in the 1940s, this film handed out strict advice on how to deal with the evils of menstruation.
Sanitary pads must be worn to prevent soiling clothes. Soiled pads should be wrapped in paper at once and burnt.
It's clear that periods are a ghastly thing. That's the message that tells me.
With typical Blitz spirit, it taught British girls to keep their chins up and soldier on.
It's not unusual to have some discomfort in the first 2 days of a period. Try to ignore it. Just see if there's a hot drink going.
American films from the same era also taught that minor adjustments to attitudes and behavior were the best way to manage menstruation.
Miss Jensen, what about dancing? Can you when you're menstruating?
Yes, you can, with moderation. In fact, you can do most of the things you usually do.
Is that up there all the time? Is that up there permanently in that classroom?
You can bathe or shower as long as you use warm water. And you can swim if you wait until 2 or 3 days after the beginning of your period.
You can picnic!
But it's not a very good idea to skate.
Okay.
Or ride horseback.
Oh, yeah.
Or play fast games like volleyball and basketball. Or do strenuous dancing like square dancing.
Yeah.
Or anything that bounces you around a lot.
Oh, yeah. Square dancing on your period.
Change your underwear more often. And be sure and use a deodorant. And plan to wear your prettiest dress. In other words, be your most attractive self.
When you're on your period, be whatever self you want to be. Don't have to be your most attractive self. You're literally bleeding from the inside. Just get through the day, babe.
But attitudes to menstruation began to change, and by the early 80s, some educators were presenting periods as the crowning moment of womanhood.
Dear Diary, guess what finally happened to me last night? It was during dinner.
Excuse me, I'm going to the bathroom.
Of course, dear.
Ah! I got it!
Sounds like Janie's got it.
Got what?
She's got her period, son.
What's that mean?
It means she's a woman now, dear.
Don't look any different to me.
It means she's a woman now, dear.
It's just really unrealistic, isn't it? Because you wouldn't, like, go to the loo and go, I've got it, you know, and
More likely, they'd go to the loo and they'd scream in terror.
And the family all like dreamy-eyed. Oh, how wonderful, she's got a period.
My dad and stepmom, after I had my period, they took me to tapas and we had a period dinner. I went into school the next week like, yo, guys, I got tapas. I had my period dinner. And all my friends were like, what are you talking about? I was like, did you not get one? Did you not? Oh, it was just me.
I didn't know anything about periods. I suddenly had blood on my knickers and I rushed into Mummy saying, oh, help, help. And she said, oh my goodness, you're early, because I was only 11. And the most important thing she taught me was that gin is very useful when you have a period because it helps with the pain. So I was on the gin quite early.
The day that I got it was Christmas Eve. So that was a lovely discovery. But it gave me an excuse to eat loads of chocolate and no one could say anything. Because...
And I've wrapped up some tampons for you. Happy Christmas.
These days, menstruation is being framed in far more honest and revealing ways as women vlog their menstrual experiences firsthand on the internet.
If you're squeamish of blood, don't watch this. I'm giving you a warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Comment down below if you guys have any video suggestions, any future period videos you want me to do.
As well as posting online period diaries, vloggers are also teaching young women exactly how to use sanitary products.
So this is Susie Sunshine, and she's going to be helping me demonstrate, and I actually cut a little hole in her for the purposes of this video.
I think this is a really good idea because you always get taught how to use the pads. You never ever get told how to do a tampon.
So you want to hold your tampon with 2 fingers and slowly push it into your vagina, kind of like you would a syringe until your tampon is in, and then you want to slowly pull it out.
That's really useful.
Congratulations, Susie, you're a woman now.
I don't know if she's a woman now, but I think that's really useful. I would have loved that.
That clip there is really, really good. 9, 10-year-olds would find that a lot easier to take in.
As talking about periods becomes less of a taboo, menstrual blood even pops up in short films, like this British example from 2008.
It's exactly how it works inside a woman's vagina. Reminds me of Angry Birds a little bit. Yeah, that was always going to happen. I don't feel like I learned anything. I feel like I watched the cartoon where the little annoying thing that was saying egg a lot actually got binned.
If I was in an exam and there was a question on the period and that came into my mind, I wouldn't be able to answer the question. I'd be singing blob, blob.
Blob, blob, blob,
yeah.
blob, 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 blob. That I do remember, and I'll probably be singing it on the way home as well.
We're looking at how sex ed has taught us about the basic biology of sex.
She develops breasts, and she'll find that a well-developed bosom becomes part of her charms.
But now it's time to tackle the slightly sticky subject of masturbation.
Masturbation, yes!
Masturbation is not covered at school.
Really?
It is not covered at school. Nothing.
Really? No. Well, they don't actually talk about masturbation?
Nothing that I've had.
I don't think it's something that anyone really speaks about, is it? Like, in general, like, if I was going to sit you down and talk to you about stuff, I wouldn't go, so anyway, it's normal to play with yourself. I don't think it's something that is brought
like
up.
your private time. Like,
on your private time.
No. Like when
this is why it always takes you forever to get changed, isn't it, Harry?
No.
40% of kids say that masturbation has been discussed in lessons, and there have been sex ed films on the subject for nearly a century. This 1924 American film offered advice on how to avoid the temptations of pleasuring oneself.
Abundant outdoor life, wholesome companions, lots of good fun. Lots of good fun. Constant occupation, determination.
Will help a boy who has acquired the habit of masturbation to overcome it and to repair any harm it may have done. I'm screwed.
Wow, that's really archaic, isn't it?
I don't understand how masturbation...
I think, well, this is from 1924.
I thought it's self-pleasure.
OK, well, without making me icky.
By the liberated 70s, some sex educators were no longer demonising masturbation.
We know today that it cannot physically hurt you, no matter how often you do it.
This 1975 clip was recently rediscovered online and went viral in 2013 thanks to a scene depicting every boy's worst nightmare.
I've seen this.
Ooh, I've seen this one. I like this one. This is my faves. It's probably the wrong thing to say, watching a boy masturbate. Make love, not war. He's abiding by that mantra.
Oh, excuse me, Ricky. Ricky, I did see what you were doing. It felt good, didn't it? It's all right. We all have feelings like this sometimes. I'm just glad you're doing this in the privacy of your own room. I'm sorry I intruded on your privacy. I'll be sure to knock next time.
Please do.
She knew what she was doing, the sicko.
This manner of response frees the child of guilt and assures him he is normal.
Give us a smile. That child is scarred for life now. Because his creepy-ass mother, who doesn't blink, it seems, and looks straight into your soul.
What that mother was actually saying is not much different, actually, than if I did walk in on you, I wouldn't stay as long and make you feel quite so awkward, but I would certainly say, do you know what, I'm really sorry, carry on, just make sure you don't do that on London Underground.
What do you think Ricky was thinking as his mum was talking to him?
Get out.
I'd say the same.
During adolescence, boys and girls change into men and women.
Meanwhile, back in the UK, controversial sex ed film Growing Up tried to break the taboos around masturbation by presenting it in all its glory.
Early in adolescence, a boy will notice that he can become sexually excited. His penis will become erect, and if he masturbates by moving the skin on his penis up and down, semen containing many million of his sperm...
He don't look like he's enjoying it. He don't look like he's having a good time. Is this how they all do it?
Semen will be ejaculated to the exterior.
Strange way to wank, sort of.
It's a very pleasurable sensation. called
Thumbs up.
orgasm.
Interesting. You know, surely if you're going to show them a way of doing it, you'd get, you know, people that are, you know, wanking a lot.
At this moment, he will experience a very pleasurable sensation.
He was just yanking the plank, but in a really sad way. So I feel for whatever trauma that he's been through in his life. I just feel like he needs a hug, really. With his clothes on, preferably.
Similarly, a young girl may also become sexually excited. She will then notice that her vulva becomes moist.
You've got to think the sentiments here, they're saying it's OK. So I'm down with that. It's just a way to... Don't know if you need to visually do it with uncomfortable young people, you know.
It is Masturbation May.
Access to masturbation information is far easier nowadays, with online videos explaining what it is and how to do it better.
I thought I would make a video about masturbation hacks.
She's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I watch her all the time.
So I have 10 hacks, tips, tricks, advice about masturbation for you.
I'm so glad her nails are short.
Genitals. Number 1 is give yourself time and set the scene. You don't want to be rushed, because if you're rushed,
How
you
true.
might feel stressed. So candles, if you fancy mood lighting.
Oh, when she said candles, I was a bit worried.
I mean, as much as it is really easy, and a lot of us do just, you know, bash one out, it is really
Not in my
important
experience.
to also take your time with it and make an event of it.
I think she had a full set of the Blairs on her bookshelf. Yeah.
She had my diaries in the background. I think she did.
Looked
Yeah.
like she did.
She probably reads them when she's getting in the mood.
I do wish that we'd had this sort of thing when I was young, because it would have made it less naughty.
It's great for girls who have never heard masturbation be talked about to then hear someone that you, like, follow and admire.
Yeah.
Just explain that it's cool, like, masturbating is good, you should do it.
I think we must have talked about masturbation. It wasn't a school subject, you understand, but I'd found a terrific method of masturbation, which I really recommend, using a pillow. And tough on laundry, but, you know. And I think we talked about that.
Next time, we're delving deep into sex itself.
The tickly feeling.
From first-time experiences...
Yeah, we were 14.
Yeah,
but we...
14.
Yeah.
...to easy ejaculations...
Sticky stuff comes from the end of the man's penis.
I can't help feeling they're over-representing how much sticky stuff there is.
...and ever-evolving contraception.
Barriers can be made out of cloth, silk, or cotton waste, or of various kinds of sponges.
What the hell was that?
That's absolutely horrific on so many fronts.